Okay. Hi, everyone. Jana and Laura and I are here to share a little bit about the coaching opportunity and what our experience has been like. So to kick us off, we're just going to start by introducing ourselves. And since I'm already talking, I'll go first. So I'm Dani Klahr. I am a diamond coach with Team Beachbody. I have officially been a coach for a little over 4 years now. Really just started working my business hard over the past few months. I became a coach because I wanted a discount. I didn't really care about having a business or anything like that, but I did quickly learn that the more I shared my own journey, because I lost 40 pounds in just under 4 months, people were like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And I remember my very first sale was to somebody I had gone to high school with, which was more than 20 years ago. And I hadn't talked to her probably since high school. And she just messaged me out of the blue. And I was like, wow, there's really something here. So that was really what kind of kicked off my business. And, just over the past few months, I've really found that it's really my passion and it's really what I want to do. So that's my story. Laura, you want to go next? I think you're muted.
I am muted. I was muted just because sometimes you never know who's going to walk through the door. That'll kick off my introduction to myself. I'm Laura. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids that are 9 and 11. And quite honestly, I discovered Beachbody when my daughter was a baby. And I was like, I got to do something to get back to me. And I'd always been going to the gym or going to Pilates class or yoga class. And that didn't work for me anymore. And because of being a mom and children and carting them around and my husband travels. So quite honestly, I'm a single mom half the time. So I was like, what am I going to do? And that is how I discovered the Beachbody programs that I could do at home when I had time in between my children. And literally, I thought I was going to hate it, and I loved it. I would literally have my 2 kids in their bouncy seats, and I'd have them watching Elmo, and I would be watching my workout, and I would be doing my workout with Shaun T and Sanity. That's where I started. And if they needed me, I could pause. I could jog over and get them Cheerios. And I just found a solution for me. And the more that I did it, the more I loved it. My results were amazing. I got back into shape very quickly after having my daughter. So I started when she was 4 months old. I've been doing these programs now for 9 years, personally. I have never looked back. I do other things too. I enjoy yoga. I'm a fitness instructor. I teach PIO. I teach Insanity because I wanted to pay it forward, because these programs have literally transformed my life. And like Dani, I had people asking me, what are you doing? And I was telling them because I was such a fan. And it wasn't until 4 years ago that I realized that there was an opportunity that could be a business as a coach to do what I love, which is helping people find the solutions that worked for me, for working moms, for busy moms, that you can do when you're traveling, that you can do at home. You can do them at the gym if you love a gym, because a lot of people like that gym and you can take it with you. It's just so convenient, and the value you get with all these different programs is so much more than you could get if you were at a gym with a trainer, which I've also done. So I think for all of us, we can speak from personal experience that the programs and the products have completely transformed our lives. So that is why I became a coach, was because, like Dani, people were naturally asking what we were doing. And it was such an easy share that I was like, I'm just gonna jump in, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna recognize the income opportunity for just taking care of me and helping people. It's been amazing.
That's so awesome. Jana, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Jana. I am 40 years old. I'll be 41 in February, not next month. It's almost next month. I'm a musician. I'm a band director. And so I work crazy hours, and that's part of the reason why I started working out from home. I was a gym rat. I went to yoga classes. I was a runner, but I had plateaued. And about 5 years ago in December, I decided to take a chance on a program called Insanity Max 30. And my husband and I literally got in the best shape of our lives. And we both lost inches. I lost 10 pounds that I wanted to lose. He lost 15. But most importantly, we started to feel better. We had more energy. We were just in a better place mentally because we were being more consistent taking care of ourselves. And we really saw a transformation as well in our nutrition, because just when you fuel your body properly, you just feel so much better. You don't really realize that until you actually experience it, I think. But it was definitely a big change for us working out from home because we were used to going to the gym. But almost instantly, we realized how much more convenient it was, because he's a band director as well. We're both musicians, so we keep crazy hours. We're not necessarily doing the same things. And so like just trying to even meet at the gym to work out together was almost impossible. So being able to just commit to a 30-minute workout at home, that was so much simpler, and it won us over almost instantly. Plus, I mean, who doesn't love Shanti? I became a coach not long after I started seeing results from Max 30. My 5-year anniversary will be in January, so pretty excited about that. But like Dani and Laura, when people saw not just a change in how I looked, but just a change in who I was, the fact that I was more positive, I was more energetic than I had been, people started asking me, what are you doing? And I started sharing with them what I was doing, and that's when kind of becoming a coach was born, and then just realizing how much I wanted to help other people to feel as good as I did. That's kind of when all that happened for me. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell.
Very cool. So I think one of the things I wanted us to talk about is the fact that all three of us we also have full-time jobs. And, you know, I do talk to a lot of people, I know you guys do too, who are like, you know, I really don't think I have time to do something like this, but yet the three of us and so many other coaches that we know are able to do this. So I thought it would be kind of cool for us to just talk about like what our day-to-day looks like and how we are able to fit this in with like our full-time jobs and kids and husbands and dogs and all of that stuff. So Jana, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. When I first started coaching, I was actually, the position I was in, I traveled to 3 schools every single day. I taught grades 6 through 12. High school marching band here in Texas is a very big deal. And so I was working 70, 80-hour weeks, easy. And so very, very busy for someone that's now taking on something else. Plus I have, like I said, my husband, we were playing around Dallas some, 3 dogs, a lot going on. And basically the way I made it work, and I continue to make it work, I'm not in nearly as stressful of a job as I used to be, less hours, still teaching band though. I'm performing more now, but I just find little pockets in my day where I know I can work. For example, when I get to school and I have a chance to kind of set things down and get settled, I take about 10 minutes and I do something for my business. You know, at lunchtime, once I've done the things I need to do to prepare for my afternoon classes, I take about 15, 20 minutes and do something for my business. And what's kind of cool for all of the coaches is there's a little checklist that we can all follow that's put out by Team Beachbody, and it just helps you to kind of stay on track, make sure that you're doing everything. And I'm a list maker, so having a list already made and I can just check off those boxes is really awesome. I love that. I love coloring in every day with my highlighter. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a nerd, I don't care. But so my goal is to check some boxes before I head home for the day. So, and then after school, we have to wait for kids to come get their instruments to take home with them for evening practice. So I sit and I try to check off a couple of more boxes before I go home, so that when I get home, I'm not overwhelmed with, oh, I have a lot to do. I don't really have that much else to do. I get home, I do my workout. I'm one of those people, I prefer to work out at night than in the morning. It's great stress relief for me. But after I do my workout, then that's my time to finish up whatever I didn't finish during the day. And on days that are super busy, sometimes I don't check all the boxes and I just wait and I catch up on that later on in the week. I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect and to check every box every day that we lose sight of, are we really doing something that brings us joy, and are we helping other people? And so that's something I really try to keep in focus. Like, you know, am I doing the things I need to do to help other people today? And if that's what I've done, then I'm good whether I checked all the boxes or not.
That's awesome. Laura, how about you? How do you work your days? Oh, are you muted again?
Really?
Oh, there you go.
I think I'm good, right?
Okay, yeah.
I've found, because my days don't look the same day to day to day, that I have to build in a schedule and be very consistent with, some sort of business hours. And just like Jana said, I mean, that we have a great tracker system that tells us these are all the vital activities to growing your coaching business. If you do those things every single day consistently, you will have a business. Your business will grow. And what that really looks like, I thought as I was listening to Jana, I wanted to share, is we're literally sharing what we're doing, sharing our results, talking about that, and asking other people to do it with us. It's literally that. You're literally that. We do that very specifically through a couple of different mediums: social media for sure, email for sure, directly, because I'm a fitness instructor as well. I'm able to really connect directly with people, have people do a workout with me at my home sometimes, or go to them. It's kind of, I try to meet people where they're at. Sometimes it's even in the grocery store line. I mean, so I think that the key is that knowing what you need to do and finding the time to fit it in. And for me, and I'm guessing that Dani and Jana will say this too, is really scheduling it in. Because if you don't schedule it in, it's probably going to fall off the map. So I try to schedule it in. And again, the best thing is, I think we've all discovered that finding the things where you're connecting with people, meeting them where they're at, and bringing joy to them as well as you, is, to me, that's when your business really starts becoming becoming something that is growing. So I think that the key really is to have a plan and a schedule, and then to hold yourself accountable to it.
I totally agree with that. I'm sort of similar in that my days are different every day. So I have to sit down and really look at what I have going on. I work full time for an education company, and I often have to travel for that business. So, just sort of looking at what I have going on, where I can fit things in. Luckily with Facebook and with the app that we use for our challenge groups, we can schedule things if we need to. So if I know that I'm going to be traveling, I can schedule out just to make sure that my groups are taken care of, and I can still check in from my phone when I have the time. The other thing that's really kind of funny about me is that I recently learned that I'm really a morning person, which I never in a million years would have thought. I know that I'm like the opposite of Jana. I love working out in the morning. It sets the tone for my day. But as I've been trying to find more time to really do the things that I need to do to keep my business momentum going, I'm way more productive in the morning. So if I get up a little bit earlier, I can get things done. And if that means that maybe I need to take a nap before dinner time, maybe I do. But it's made things so much easier for me to be able to get up early. I have my list of things that I need to do. I block out time in my day, and I just go boom, boom, boom. So I have a bunch of stuff done even before my workday starts. And then I usually do some stuff around lunchtime. And then I just fit it into little pockets of my evening. So I'm still very present with my husband and my children. And I also have 3 dogs, which they're running around like lunatics right now. Sorry if you can hear that. But it's something that I can do from my couch if I need to. I can respond to messages. I think it's very easy to work into your day if it's a priority to you. So that's really what I've done, is just, I get up a little bit earlier in the morning, and sometimes I sacrifice a TV show or something like that.
I think a lot of people, that's one of the questions that a lot of people ask me is, how much time does this take? I don't have time. We all have the same amount of time, so it really comes down to what you choose to do with your time. But I'm very much about spending time with my family and being present with them when we're all in the same space. So I think that's why it's really easy, as Jana was saying, to break it into pockets. I know friends of ours that are coaches, of which We're all part of a top 10 team, so we learn from the best. We all have access to very, very successful friends of ours that are all part of our teammates, and they would all say the same thing. You can break it down into pockets, 10 minutes at a time, 15 minutes at a time. It's not like you have to sit down and dedicate an hour of your day to this. It generally takes an hour of the day, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on what you have. But you just kind of fit it in naturally into your day, and then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. On top of that, when you're doing something that you enjoy, it feels like you want to do it. Like you want to get up and be like, how many people can I share this opportunity with today? Because it's life-changing. And then when you connect with those people and you find them and you start talking about it, usually people cut me off because I'm just like, so we're all so passionate about it cut off in a good way, like I'm good, that's awesome, I'm in, kind of a thing. So I just feel like that's one of the biggest questions that I get, as you all said, how much time does this take? I don't feel like I have a lot of time. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like it's exciting, and gosh, I would sure love to be helping people, but how much? I don't have any time. And I feel like I don't have time either, but I don't feel like this takes extra time. It just kind of fits into everything.
Yeah. And I mean, you do give up some things. Like I watch a lot less TV now than I used to, but that's not necessarily something I consider to be a bad thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that, because like Laura was saying, it's something we enjoy doing. So I don't mind taking time to do that because it doesn't even really feel like work. And I'm not saying like this is a super easy business, because at times it's not. But for the most part, I'm having conversations with people, asking them what their goals are, trying to, like Laura said, meet them where they're at, find a solution for them, and then coach them through it, support them. And I mean, who wouldn't love that? It's just such an amazing opportunity to really make a difference for people. And so to me, taking the time to do that doesn't really feel like work.
Well, so Dani, when you're coaching somebody through that, let's share about what we do as a coach. We talked about, we work our business because there's a business opportunity here. But as a coach, what are the activities that we do that really is what defines what a coach is?
Well, I would say, the majority of my time is spent telling people about what we have to offer. And going through that whole process. So finding out, what it is that really makes them tick. What are their goals? Do they want to lose weight? Do they want to maybe just tone up a little bit? Maybe they want to get stronger. There's so many different variations. Maybe they want to, lower their cholesterol, or, there are a lot. I'm a thyroid cancer survivor, so I get a lot of people with thyroid or chronic illnesses. So we talk a lot about what they can do to make themselves feel their best. Once we have that conversation and figure out, okay, well, we have all of these different programs, right? We have 2 nutrition programs. We have all kinds of different supplements. We have this amazing superfood shake. We have thousands of workouts at this point. So what combination of those things is going to work best? And that's one of the things I love about Beachbody programs, is that it is not a one size fits all. There's always a way that we can tweak it or make it your own. So that's sort of like fun for me, is figuring out that piece of the puzzle. And then once we match a person to those tools, then we plug them into our challenge groups. And I think it's such an important piece of that puzzle, because you can go out and you can, buy into some sort of fitness program or nutrition program or join a gym, but you don't always have that community, and you don't always have a dedicated person who's there rooting for you and cheering you on. And that's such a big part of the challenge groups. I'll let you guys talk a little bit about the challenge groups too.
I guess I can go. I don't want to jump in on anybody. So basically, something that I didn't know that I needed was that sense of community that you were talking about. I don't have a lot of girls that are friends. Being a percussionist, I grew up around boys. And girls were a lot of high drama. And so a lot of my close friends are guys. I don't have a lot of female friends. And at first that made me really uncomfortable being in the groups, because I'm like, okay, there's all these chicks and I don't even know how to act around around them. Like, I don't know. But what I discovered was it was actually something I really needed, having a sense of community and a place to belong around other girls that were dealing with the same things I was. It wasn't just me, and that's something that we've kind of learned as we've gone through this whole, being a coach and being in different groups and various things. And, I think giving people a place to belong and a sense of community and a safe space to share their struggles and to share their victories and know that they're going to have people there, that it's a judgment-free zone. We're just there to help them and support them. I think that's more important than we really realize. And for me, that was a piece that was missing when I was going to the gym and yoga and running and all that stuff. I didn't have a sense of community, and I didn't have people supporting me, and I didn't have other females going through the same things I was going through. I didn't have that. And having that has been invaluable for me. And that's something I really try to make happen with my groups, is that everybody feels like they've got a safe space to come with questions, concerns, what they deem as failures, even though we never fail as long as we keep trying, and their victories too. Like having somebody post in a group or text me and tell me, that they went and tried on clothes and they're like 3 sizes smaller, or, something cool like that. Like that just makes my day. So to me, that's something that I feel like is really, really important thing that we do in our groups.
Yeah, and I feel like that whole like supportive feeling is just part of the whole Beachbody culture in general. Like I've been, and I'm sure you guys have too, if you join like other like diet groups or like nutrition groups on, Facebook or other platforms, a lot of times they're very judgy, and I'm not, I mean, they're not all that way, but a lot of them are. And, you post a meal that you had and people start saying, well, you're not supposed to eat that. And that, so I've never really experienced that in any, and I mean, how many Beachbody groups are we in? So many. And that I think I want to say it's not tolerated, but it's not even that it doesn't need to be tolerated. It just doesn't happen. It's just such a supportive community, and we work with each other. We cheer each other on. If somebody is struggling with something or something's not working for them, we're all there to help troubleshoot. Like it's just, I've never been part of a community like that before. And it's such a powerful piece of this for me.
So what have, maybe we can each share a little bit about what Beachbody has done for each of us, how it's changed us. We've shared about why we coach and how we became a coach and what we do as a coach. But that's usually a question that I get to because, we post a lot about our journey. We post a lot about our workouts and what we're eating and results and what's new. But I think that's probably the thing we don't share as much about. So since I started that, I'll just kick that one off. There's a lot of different things about coaching. There's not just one thing. I mean, coaching for me it's allowed me to have an outlet to be able to share something I'm passionate about and to help change people's lives. I mean, that's one thing that I think is awesome about our solutions that we offer as coaches is that you're changing somebody's life. It's not just products, or it's just not, because it's changed all of our lives, right? So for me, that is huge, that I feel like I have something very, very valuable to offer, and I can help people with that and help them feel amazing and be their best. We all recognize various different levels of financial compensation from being Beachbody coaches, which they do not guarantee. So everybody's results are insert income disclaimer here. And so it's directly a result of how much of how you work your business. I mean, that's literally what it is. If you have a team and you're growing a team and you're bringing other coaches on, which is why the three of us thought that this would be an amazing opportunity to tell you about because of what it's done for us, then you have an income level that is more than just sharing products. And we're all at that level, and that's why we thought more people need to join us at this level because of what it's done for us. So it's allowed my family to be able to do extra things on the side. It's allowed us to bridge the gap between, paychecks at some time when I was in between job. So it's just been such a blessing to know that that is there, and to know that that can be, it can be managed at, a level that is totally within my control. I think that's the other thing, that it's like, hey, if I want that number to be, a bigger number, that I want to take more time off during the year, or I want to at some point work my full-time job part-time and then work this more. That part is the thing that I think is also a blessing, because you can make that choice, and having freedom of choice when it comes to your family and your finances has been this one of the biggest opportunities of being a coach. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in on that too.
I can. I would say, gosh, Beachbody's done so much for me, other than just the actual like physical transformation or whatever. Just my mindset's completely different than it was. And it's because of the coaching community. I didn't know what personal development was. And when I first learned about it, I was not interested in doing it because I was fine, which I was not. And I've learned so much about just my attitude, my outlook, having a gratitude practice, like just things that I wasn't doing. And I wondered why I was so freaking miserable all the time. And it was because I wasn't taking care of, it's not just about fitness and nutrition. It's so much more than that. And learning that through the coaching community and applying that to my daily life has been huge. I'm still teaching because of Beachbody. And I know that sounds weird, but I was getting burnt out teaching. And my whole life was teaching and music. And that's not a bad thing. But when you do that 70, 80 hours a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes, it wears on you. And I was losing my passion for what I was doing. And having this outlet, having this community, having a space that had nothing to do with what I was doing has helped me to kind of find that passion again, and to still enjoy teaching, and to still enjoy making music and doing the things that I do. And like Laura said, like having the extra income has been invaluable. When we moved from Dallas to Austin, invaluable. We've been able to go on trips. We've been able to do things that we would not normally be able to do, thanks to the extra income that we have all worked to earn. Because it does take work. It's fun, so it doesn't really feel like work, but it does take work. You do have to do the work. And the other side of it too is getting to go on really cool trips that we've earned. That's how we met each other, getting to go on retreats and, getting to meet each other, meet other coaches. You bond with other coaches, and then you start collaborating and working together like we are. And that's been so amazing to be able to do that. I mean, and if you're older like me, like meeting people on the internet and then going somewhere and meeting them, like that was out of the question like 20 years ago. Like that would have been creepy and weird. But now it's such a cool thing that we get to do and be around other people that are like-minded, that lift you up. It's awesome.
Yeah, totally ditto to all of that. It's just, I don't think people really realize like how, like, it's not just about making extra money. It's not just about losing weight. Like there is a whole spectrum of stuff that comes along with being a Beachbody coach. For me, I would say, of course, we've all mentioned the extra income. That is absolutely wonderful to have that extra, it doesn't even have to be a lot, but even having an extra like $50 to $100 a week can really make a difference. I mean, that's a car payment. That's, I paid for my daughter's basketball with my Beachbody check. I paid for her gymnastics with my Beachbody check. We go on a lot of Disney vacations. It always contributes to that. A lot of things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do without that. But aside from the money, I would definitely say that the focus on personal development has been huge for me. I've owned businesses in the past. I owned a brick and mortar business for a while. And I was so focused on like making that work and making money. And I didn't even really realize that if I would just focus more on working on myself that's what makes you successful. And it wasn't until I started with Beachbody, and even several years after I started with Beachbody, that really clicked, because I was kind of the same, Jana, like, I don't need that, I'm fine. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you're not fine, but it's just, there's always room for improvement, right? There's always stuff that you can be doing. And the more I work on myself, the more confident I become. And the more confident I become, the more successful I am. And the more, like, the bigger I dream for myself and my family. And I think that that's what's really exciting, is that not only can you dream bigger, but you can actually make it happen. And we've seen it time and time and time and time again. So having that confidence, overcoming fears, you know, and I know that's probably something that we should touch on quickly too, is that a lot of people come into a business like this with fear, right? They're afraid to post, they're afraid to talk to people. And we were all there at one point. Like, I was terrified. I was so scared to post, you know, pictures of myself in my sports bra and whatever. And now I do it every single day. I post my workouts every single day, but it took me a while to get there. So I think that, you know, being able to go through that process of getting out of your comfort zone a little bit, doing your personal development, working on yourself, being a part of a supportive community really allows you to grow into a person that you can really be proud of. And that's been really important to me. The community has been huge. You know, like Jana said, we all met on a retreat, not too well, you guys knew each other before, but I met these two not too long ago, and now we talk all the time. And it's because we have this connective tissue, right? Like, we're Beachbody coaches, and we love what we do, and we want to improve, and we're always thinking of you know, ways that we can connect and help others. And it's just so nice to have other people to share that with. So you know, I think that that's a really important piece that I don't think everyone really gets until they're actually part of it. But I could gush for, I mean, like, I could just go on and on about all of the things. But, you know, and I mean, it's not to say that it's all like sunshine and roses all the time, because it is a business and it does take work. But man, the more you put into it, like, the better it gets.
The thing is that, I mean, we've all realized, which is hard to tell other people, hard to share, is that like Jana and I, we met in February. Well, we've all, when you're constantly like in groups and stuff together, you kind of connect with people. But Jana and I met in person in February, and when we like met in the airport, we were both like, oh yeah, it's like we'd known each other forever. And then we hung out, and now we're planning trips together. And like, then we ran into Dani, and it's just like, because there's this like common connective tissue between us, that is the culture of the organization and of all coaches, is that we genuinely want people to be their best. And we, you know, what other job do you have where you get to pick who you work with? We literally get to pick who we work with, and most of the people are awesome. Like, you know how sometimes like we all have other jobs too, and there's people that were like, not my favorite person, I have to tolerate that. But that doesn't happen, because everybody's so positive because of the culture of positivity, because of the focus on personal mindset, because of the, like, if somebody, like, leaving nobody behind, somebody's having a rough time or having a bad day, how many times do we like reach out and be like, what can I do? What do you need? You got this. We all know we have ups and downs. And I mean, I'm older than Jana, so I just know that I've been around the block a lot, and that just does not exist. It's one of the biggest blessings, and one of the things that keeps me coming back to this is because if I know I'm going to get lifted up, and I'm going to be able to lift somebody else up. And for me, that is part of my passion, and I believe my purpose is to like really spread light and love, because there's so much negative energy out there that somebody has to, you know, decide to like raise the torch, right? So this is an outlet for that. This is also an outlet that has paid each of us back personally with physical results, confidence, feeling better about yourself, things you can't even like describe to somebody, but it's happened to all of us. It happens to everybody that becomes a coach that starts working with Beachbody, because you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of other people, and be surrounded by people that are all like-minded. Like, it's like the best thing ever. That's why we all think that this is such a gift to be able to share with people, to take some time out of our Monday night at the very end of the decade and hopefully inspire some more people to say, I want that. I want to go into 2020 with that. I want to take that with me. I'm going to give it a shot because these three, the three of us, we did it. We know what it takes. The other thing I think that Jana started when she was talking about, like, it's like plug and play. Like, you're not like, you're constantly supported. You're constantly trained on what to do, what to try, but find your own voice, because it's not a one-stop shop. Everybody's got to be their own people, because we all have people that we work with that are more like us than like, you know, our friends. So it's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah, that's totally such a good point too, because I think, you know, sometimes when people get into a business like this, they think they have to be a certain way or look a certain way. And I mean, look at the three of us. Like, we're all so different. We're all in our 40s, I guess, but but other than that, we're all very, you know, we're different and we live different lives and we have different things going on. But the more that you can be yourself, the more people, like your people, can relate to you. And I think that's been a huge piece of it for me, is just finding that, like, wow, I can actually be myself and I don't have to act the way that I act at work, or I can just be me, and it's totally cool. And I don't think that there are a lot of opportunities for us to be ourselves all the time in life. So that's been great.
Oh yeah. And getting to overcome challenges and overcome fears together, because something that we discovered when we were on our retreat together is a lot of us have the same fears. We have the same things that hold us back from really having the kind of personal growth that I think we're all seeking. And I think it's really neat that we have that community to share that in, and then we can actually see each other getting over those hurdles, conquering those fears, and then moving on together to that next level. That's what's kind of neat. Like, you have so much individuality, as much as you want, but you also have this amazing group where you're working together to get through things. And so I would say to anybody that's considering this, if you're ready to grow, you're ready to overcome some things that maybe have been holding you back, or maybe you kind of feel stuck. I know I did. And I didn't even really realize what all was holding me back, but it's been quite the transformation inside, more so than outside. And I think we all need more of that. We need more emphasis on just being the absolute best that we can, because when we are at our best, then we can help others be at their best, whether it's our team, whether it's our clients, it's our families, it's our coworkers. I think that's invaluable. And just know that, you know, anybody that signs up as a coach, you have a huge team of coaches that will be helping you. We, like they said earlier, top 10 team, we have really amazing coaches. But even if there's coaches just within the network that aren't on our team, we all help each other. We all reach out. Everybody's willing to help and share ideas. And, you know, you see something that you like, you message that coach, hey, I really like what you're doing. Can you tell me more about it? Like, I've never had anybody not be helpful. And so this is something that you can just kind of walk in and start doing. It's not like, oh, I need to watch a lot of videos and have a lot of training. And no, it's as simple as Laura stated earlier. Just being willing to grow, being willing to face challenges, and being willing to be coachable. And just take the help from whoever you feel comfortable getting that help from, but being willing to try. To me, I think that's a huge thing. And if we all were really open to that, I think we'd all be more successful in lots of things. I tell my students all the time, all I need is just you to try. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just try. And I think that goes a long way in everything. So that's my 2 cents.
No, and that also brings up another question that I get a lot is, you don't have to be a fitness expert. You don't have to be a nutrition expert. You just have to be willing to learn and to try. We have all of the fitness programs designed already. We have all of the nutrition programs. You don't need to know anything like specifically about, you don't have to be a personal trainer or anything like that. You just need to be willing to learn, to get to know the programs that we have to offer, to get to know the nutrition products that we have, but you don't have to be an expert. I didn't know anything about, I mean, my background is in education, not, it had nothing to do with fitness or nutrition, but I found a passion for it because it made such a difference for me.
A lot of people also think they're like, aren't ready because they're not where they want to be in their fitness. And the thing is that we probably all know is that the best coaches are the ones that are in the middle of their own journey, because people feel very relatable to somebody that's right where they are. And so I always tell people that I'm like, that's like we have coaches all sizes, right? We have so many coaches that are all in all different sizes and levels of fitness and strength, and in the middle of their own, everybody's in their own journey. So
and all ages too. There's coaches that are in their 60s.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You're never too old and it's never too late. I'm just saying.
True.
Well, we're at about 45 minutes, so we should probably wrap up. But the last thing I just wanted to ask each of you is, if you had advice for a brand new coach, one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say don't wait. When I started coaching, I didn't wait too long to decide to coach, because I was sort of already in my head doing it by helping people. But when I did decide to coach, I felt like I had to learn everything before I actually started coaching, and I set myself back a couple months because I felt like I didn't know enough to be able to. It's the one thing I always tell people when they start coaching is like, learn as you go. Jump in and learn as you go. That's how there are no mistakes, because there are no rules, right? That was my takeaway when we went to our annual big conference this summer together, is that I was like, I keep thinking I keep like trying to like do it, one way and this way and this way. And my aha takeaway was like, there is no one way. You can't get it wrong. You can try it, and if it doesn't work as well, then you try it a different way. But as long as you're being authentic in you, and you're doing, you're coming from a place of gratitude and from being real and wanting to help people, there's no wrong way. And so that's my two things that I tell people.
All right. That's good. I'm glad you went first, because I needed a second.
All right, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's good. But there's a lot of advice you can give that I think is valuable. I think probably my piece of advice would be, don't be afraid to tell people what you're doing. Don't be afraid about what people are going to think. Because look, you're going to have people that criticize you, whether you're a Beachbody coach or not. There's people that are going to hate on you either to your face or behind your back, and that's okay. They are not your people, and just take that negativity elsewhere. Be proud of what you're doing for yourself, and be proud that you're paying it forward to someone else. And, not everybody's going to want to do what we do, and that's okay. But be proud of who you are, be proud of what you're doing, and don't let the fear of what someone might say hold you back. And there's a couple of good examples that I've learned over time, because this was something that was really hard for me. But when we find something we love, whether it's, a great restaurant or a great hotel or a great product, we share it. We talk to people about it. Or if somebody is talking about how they have, I have this problem. Oh, hey, I use this and it was really great. Da, da, da. We share things all the time. That's literally all you're doing here. People are talking about they're struggling in their fitness, they're struggling in their nutrition. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what's working for me. You should check it out. That's all that it is. And the other thing that was really helpful for me was, if you had something that could save someone's life, would you wait to tell them about it? We all know what the answer is. And think about it. When you live a healthy lifestyle, you're doing what you can to have a happy, healthy, long life. So by sharing what you're doing, you're offering someone else to have a longer, healthier, happier life. My husband was able to get off his cholesterol meds because he's living a healthier lifestyle, you know? And I've heard so many stories at different events of people that have been able to get off medication, been able to reverse problems that they've had just from living a healthier lifestyle. And why not offer that to someone and give them the opportunity to feel their best, whatever that is. And so if you're kind of worried about, well, I don't really want to be salesy, I don't want to talk, you're not. You're just sharing what works for you and giving them the chance to do it. And if they don't, that's fine. You keep doing you, and eventually they're going to come back and they're going to ask for your help. That's my advice.
That's so true. And I love how like all three of us kind of have the same thing, because Laura said, don't wait. Jana, you said, what was your first thing that you said?
Don't be afraid to talk.
Don't be afraid. And I was going to say, don't overthink. And so I think all of those kind of go together. You know, I think we all, especially like, you know, you're starting a business. So, you know, you feel like you have to do it a certain way. But this is really a personal business, and it is very personal, and it is all about being you, and you shouldn't have to think about being yourself. So just, you know, talk in the language that you normally talk in. If you're going to post something on Facebook, say, you know, don't use words that you wouldn't normally say in your normal day-to-day. If you're being coached by your coach or your team, you know, the things that we tell our coaches that they should be doing, we would never ask you to do something we wouldn't do ourselves, right? So, and we know, you know, I mean, because we've been through the ringer, right? We know what works and what doesn't. And so, you know, I mean, if you're given instructions on like, you know, this, you should try this, or, you know, make your first post or whatever, just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. Because the more you think about it, the more you're going to talk yourself out of it. And if you haven't read the 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, you need to, because, oh my God, it's such a good book. It's such a simple concept. Like, you just count down from 5 and do the thing. It's so easy, but we still like overthink everything. And this is coming from a classic overthinker. Like I'm always like in my head. And this has helped me, you know, being a coach has helped me with that so much. But really, I think that the people who really tend to like overthink and like just analyze everything get stuck. And you don't want to be stuck if you're doing a business like this. You want to move forward. So that would be my advice.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody wants to add before we close out?
No. What do we want to say about anybody that wants to follow up or reach out to, you know, I guess we're going to post our Zoom record. We recorded all of this. So probably you're watching the recording because it was just the three of us, but we had a good time anyway. And really we're able to share from our hearts what we try to share every day. So I don't know, Dani, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be sharing this with you guys. So, you know, whoever you've been in contact with, whichever one of the three of us, just, you know, we'll be following up with you, I'm sure, but reach out to us. Like we said, you know, don't wait, don't overthink, just reach out. You know, none of us is going to bite, and we want to talk to you and see if this is a good fit. All three of us are very fully aware that this is not for everybody, but I do believe it can be for most people. But you just need to figure out how to fit it in and how to make it yours. And that's part of what we do as coaches, is to help you do that. So please reach out to us. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I think you do too. I run a coaching workshop every month to just share a little bit more and to get more information. So if you want to take baby steps, that's another option for you as well. But I do have to say that if this is something that has ever crossed your mind, you've already got it in you. If you've ever once thought, hey, that looks kind of cool, you've already got coaching in you. You just need to bring it out.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.